Hello YouTube. So this video is going to be the first of a three-part series for melee combat. This is going to be for melee passive. After that, we will do melee defensive and then melee offensive. So in regards to melee passive, one big con is that it's conflict avoidant and quite preventative in nature. So none of it is really going to transfer or assist you in melee defensive or active. However, a big pro is that it has the lowest learning curve. So it's going to be easy to become efficient in a very short amount of time. It's not like melee active where you need 10 years in a martial art to become effective with that. You know, some people don't have the time or money for that. So starting with melee passive, the first thing is we're going to talk about cardio, particularly sprinting. Now, the reason why we want sprinting over, jogging or long distance is because the body naturally produces adrenaline when you're in danger. And that adrenaline is better used in fast twitch muscle fiber than in slow twitch muscle fiber. And any exercise you do, right, this is settled science, your body's going to use fast twitch muscle fibers first. And so it just makes sense for us to train the running method that matches our feeling, matches our adrenaline, right? And with sprinting, we want quality over quantity. So we're not looking to do a lot of sprints. We're looking to have very high quality type of sprints. So it's hard to give a training protocol for that, but as long as you're sprinting for like 10 seconds and maybe you're doing sets of maybe 5, and then the rest has to be long, because again, long rest is associated with, higher quality for the exercise you're performing. Again, as long as you're sprinting 10 seconds, 5 sets, and let's say 3-minute rest between each set. And you'll be able to tell too, the more that you run, the more that you sprint, you'll be able to tell that this is, becoming more of a cardio exercise compared to a sprinting exercise. And the form, when I used to do sprints, I don't do them anymore. The form is that whatever arm is in front, then the opposite leg has to be in front. So if your left hand is in front, then that means the right knee has to be in front. And then if it switches, then the right hand is in front and then the left leg is in front. At least that's what I see for like world-class sprinters. And I think that's how we were taught too when I was in track and field. So that's the efficient running form. And I would actually do that 4 times a week, because there's 7 days in a week. So you should do that 4 times a week. And if you're a healthy weight, you can start with that right away. If you're a little bit overweight, so America is 66% overweight, I would actually do a weightlifting program first, okay? The reason is that fat is not I can say this. I can say this because I was fat. Fat is not an attached weight, okay? It kind of hangs off of you, right? It's not like muscle. Like muscle is attached at every point, right? All the way around, it's attached at every point. That's why muscle can do a lot of traumatic high-speed movement without too much pain, too much injury. You can punch and kick very quickly, and that's nothing, right? Now fat doesn't do that, because fat's not attached at all places. It hangs off of you. It's attached some point, but then the rest hangs off of you. So if you're trying to do sprinting or punching or kicking and that weight's pulling you down, holding you down, that's really going to pull on your tendons. It can pull on your bones, cartilage. That's not good, right? That's not good, because when tendons break, you don't get that back. You don't get that back. It's game over. So if you're a little bit overweight, I would go ahead and add a weightlifting program aimed towards hypertrophy. So we're not aiming for strength, we're aiming for hypertrophy. And the formula that I use is going to be 4 to 6 sets of 9 reps with a rest of 1 minute 30 or 90 seconds in between. Okay, so whatever weight that you choose, like pick whatever, right? And then if at the end of the 6 sets, if I ask you how difficult was that, and then you say a 3, you should probably increase the weight, okay? But on the other hand, if you didn't even get to do 3 sets, it's too heavy, you need to come down. And the exercises I would recommend would be the Holy Trinity, which of course is squats, deadlift, and bench press. Now there are form specifics for those, but honestly, I'll just ask that you watch a real bodybuilding video. I mean, those guys and girls do real work, and you might as well get the best information from them. Yes, there is form to worry about, so I just ask you guys go ahead, and it's YouTube. You can find it, find bench press form, squat form, just do that. And I would say do the weightlifting program 3 days. So you got your sprinting program for 4 days, then you got your weightlifting program for 3 days, and put them in between so that it's sprint weights, sprint weights, sprint weights, sprint. Okay, do it like that. And even if you are healthy enough and you just want to do the sprints, there's really no reason not to do a weightlifting program. I mean, it's literally just free gains. It's not going to hurt you in any way. It's just going to help you. It can help your mind, help your body. Your body likes exercise, regardless of what you may think. Your body likes that, and it rewards you. Better performance, serotonin, dopamine. It makes you feel good, right? So clearly, you should continue to do this if it makes you feel good. Now, the second method of melee passive is situational awareness. What this means is just being aware of your surroundings and, knowing where you are throughout all times of the day. If you find yourself out late at night and it's like, why am I out here at 10 p.m.? And it's to get something that was super important. You really couldn't have gotten this thing anywhere else earlier in the day. You see what I'm saying? Just kind of write things down, know what you're looking for, what you need. Don't be out unnecessarily at night. Now, speaking of no reason to go out at night, there is, of course, the club scene. Yes, I do go there with my friends, and I'm sure you do too. In that situation, I would say, make sure you have a plan for your group, and don't be out there by yourself. If you're like, I'm gonna go to the bars by myself. No, just slap you. No, no, you can't do that. Okay, even if you had one friend and it's just the two of you, I don't even think that's enough. That's still, quite a small number. Have a group, at least 3 or more, and then also make sure you are aware of where the group is and you stick together. So an example was, so me, my manager, and our friends, we go out to the bars, right? We actually went to Deadwood last week, over the weekend, Halloween weekend. And, everything was fine until we lost one of our guys. We lost Spencer, okay? And we went back to look for him. My manager did, and I went with him. And the idea with that was, okay, let's bring all the people we have to the front of the casino where there's guards and stuff like that, and they can watch that, and then me and him will go out. And the reason why was because, it's a bar, people are stupid and they're drunk and they want to start fights. My manager can fight and I can fight, so it made sense that we should go out there and look for Spencer, because I imagine bar fights start usually out on the dance scene, the dance floor, right? Especially that one, because there was I don't think there was any guards, maybe one guard? I don't know, there wasn't that many, and that poor guard has to watch the whole place, So it made sense to us that we should go out there and look for Spencer because, if there's a fight, we can fight, and there's nothing wrong with, people that can't fight. I've seen it, he's seen it where, things happen and then some people cannot fight, and that's okay. I would just put them with the group, because there's strength in numbers, put them with the group, right? So that would be an example, is that if you lose somebody, I'm going to look for them by myself. No, that's not very smart. First of all, the fighter should be looking for the missing group person, and then another one should go with them. Okay, maybe there's a situation where you want to split the fighters, but I imagine probably in the bar scene that people will jump you, so you really actually need 2 fighters in the same area. An extension of that is just knowing where all your group mates are. Anytime somebody says, "Oh, I'm gonna use the bathroom," I take note of it. I'm like, "Oh, okay, Carl's going to the bathroom. Oh, Drew's going to the bathroom." And I take note of it. And then if like long time passes and I'm like, where are they? Okay, then I will go look for them because it's like, hey, you said you're gonna use the bathroom. Are you back here in time? That's what I do. If I go to the bathroom, I go back to the group right away. Okay, or like I'm gonna get water. I get water and I come back right away. Tell your people where you're going so they know where you are, and then always come back to your group as soon as you can. Another example was, I think it was the second night in Deadwood. Yeah, this lady came out of nowhere. I didn't know who she was, but she wanted me to help her find Victoria. And we're like 5 hours away from Deadwood. We're not locals. I thought, oh, is this a band person? Is this a music person? Is that what she's asking to looking for? And I tried to ask her questions, but she wasn't really answering the question very well. I think she drank too much. But no, my questions are like, oh, where's your group? Because I hope she didn't come here by herself. Like, where's your group? Where's your people? But I don't think she understood my question. And then my manager was like, "Oh, we're gonna go at the bodega." I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "Can I come with you?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I guess she doesn't have a group then. You know what I mean? So I wasn't hitting on her, but I just tried to keep her close because it's like, I don't know, she doesn't know where she is or she doesn't have a group. But eventually she did just walk away on her own. So I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess. I mean, everybody's their own adult, but um, she joined our group, and I was like, okay, then you're with our group. But then if she leaves on her own, okay, okay, you go in your own way. You know what I mean? Just try to keep watch of people who are in your group or join your group. Make sure, or if they leave, make sure they leave with a group. Like, oh, that's my group. Oh, great, great. It's perfect, right? So I know the bar scene can be quite difficult, but just being aware of where your people are and where you are, taking note of where everyone is if that's what you want to do, right? I mean, it'd be better if you don't go to the bars, but I understand, sometimes it's people's birthdays. It was Kyle's birthday a while ago, and it's gonna be Taylor's birthday this weekend. So, I get it. It's like, they want to go out. Okay, we'll go out. But just be mindful of that and keep track of your group mates. Now, another method of melee passive is actually some type of a camera system. I really like those because it's so useful. I watch a lot of true crime, and you won't believe the number of cases that are solved by people's own personal camera system, and it helps you too. It not just helps the community, it helps you too, because if somebody damages your car or something, well, you got them on camera, so that's an easy insurance claim. The only downside is that I imagine they're incredibly expensive. A friend of mine, we used to work at McDonald's when we were teenagers. He got a system. I don't think it was a camera system, but it's a magnetic system. So I I used to work. We learned this in security. I can't believe I forgot it. I think it's a magnet system, but it's like it's a magnet lock system. And when the magnet lock is broken, then an alarm is sent out. So you can put that on like the screen door before your main door. Well, no, you wouldn't want to do that. But you can put it anywhere, and when the lock breaks, you get a message saying, hey, that lock was broken. And if you're not expecting anybody to come home, something like that, then obviously that something's going down. Something's going down. You gotta check it out, right? And I remember he told me that was $4,000 he paid for that. So I imagine probably a camera system costs more than that. So obviously that's not attainable for most people. But I have seen other systems. I remember when I was your age, they had the commercial on TV where some guy broke a glass window, and then like an alarm sent out, or yeah, like a noise went off, and then I think the police were called. I don't think I don't think they advertised that at $4,000, but it was, I don't know, maybe it was $200. So that's a little bit more affordable. Another system I saw was, I was in college and I worked. No, did I work? Well, I did work. I don't remember if I was walking home for some reason. Maybe it was work. And I remember there was this house. And this house, it had some kind of light system. It was just like the movie Halloween. Not the old one, but like the new one where like Laurie has like grandkids or something. I remember that. There was a scene in that movie where like if you walked past the house, right, the light would turn on. And I loved that. That was so cool to me, And I saw that when I was in college. I always walked by this house because I had to go. I think it might have been work or class, but that house, no, it was work because it was late at night. I came back, and then the light would turn on anytime you passed it. And I can't imagine that costing $4,000, but that's really cool too because if somebody's thinking of doing something, casing that house or something, as soon as they walk up and the light flashes on you, like, that's a great deterrent. I mean, obviously not if they still plan to do something, but it's still something for you to think about. Now, the last method of melee passive we're going to talk about, an actual item this time you can hold in your hand, is a flashlight. Now, in terms of melee passive, what we're looking for in a flashlight is actually the strobe effect. So most flashlights are going to have a high setting, a low setting, and then some also have a strobe effect. Now the idea is to really blind an attacker, and there's a couple prerequisites for that. First of all, it has to have enough lumens. I think 120 is enough, like really barely cutting enough. That will blind somebody. This one is actually a Lux Pro LP29OV2. This is actually 280 lumens. Okay, so it's just gonna blind them faster, right? And some flashlights, they have it to where you can set it in a memory set position. This one isn't. But honestly, I'm going to tell you, I don't think that's very important. So first of all, most flashlights, again, you have your, I think that's a low setting. Oh, this is the low setting. Then it has that sort of strobe effect, And I tested it because I love you guys. I tested it, and yeah, 280 lumens will blind the hell out of you, okay? And they'll be seeing spots. Now again, this is melee passive, okay? We're not trying to attack the guy or girl, right? We're just trying to get away, right? So this is what it's intended for. Now, the reason I chose this one is because it has a button flashlight on the bottom. Some flashlights will have it, in the front, but the reason why I want it like this is because in my concealed carry class, the NRA, they teach it like this. So you have the flashlight like this, and then the gun goes over like that. So that's why I got the bottom flat button flashlight. You don't have to. If you like the sort of front button press type of thing, you can get that as well. I've also seen some heavy duty big ass flashlights. I think my dad had one. It's like a freaking hammer. You can beat someone with that. Of course, that's moving more in the territory of melee active, but there's all kinds of different flashlights, different lumens. Again, I think 120 is bare minimum if you want to be able to flash somebody with a strobe effect. Now, the next thing to talk about is actually night vision. If an attacker breaks into your house, they actually have accustomed their eyes to night vision. Everybody has night vision. You do, I do, everybody does, okay? The difference is that some people have better night vision than others, and it can be genetic to a degree, but I think it can also be trained. So here's an example. I've always had really good night vision, and I never really knew why. There was one time my ex-girlfriend was sleeping over, and all the lights are off, the blinds are on, it was dark. I didn't think it was that dark, but it was dark. I didn't find it that dark. And so she just kind of said, "It's really dark in here." I was like, "Really? I can see everything though." I can see everything. She's like, "You can?" Like, "Yeah, I can." So I touched her on the nose, like, "See, I can see everything." So they say supposedly if you eat like vitamin A foods, that can help with your night vision. But like I said, everybody has night vision. And if it's possible to be trained, the only thing I can think of, if it's really not just genetics, is that I don't really have a good relationship with my biological mother. I mean, she was there when I was growing up, but just not like mentally there, Like all she would do is watch scary movies and eat food and go to sleep. And so, of course, as a kid, it's like, I feel like I don't have a mom. I'm going to hang out with mom. And so then she's always watching scary movies, even in the day. Even in the day, she watches scary movies. She just puts the blinds on so it's dark, And that's really how you should watch any scary movie. And that was my relationship with my mom. It was just scary movies all day, all night, And so I think just years of that, I just got accustomed to low light settings. Even now, in the new house, because I work from home, my dad will come over sometimes and he'll be like, "Why is it so dark in here?" It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just too bright. You know, it's too bright to me. Um, so if you can train night vision, I guess that's how you do it. Just watch scary movies all day. Um, but another thing too, I remember my dad's like, "Why do you always keep it so dark in here?" And I was like, "Well, I'm paying the bills now, so I don't want to pay that much money." Well, that's all that comes to mind for me in terms of melee passive. Again, this is not a complete list. I thought about it for a long time, but that's really all I can think about. Of course, if you have any ideas for melee passive, I'd be very much interested in that. I always like to learn new stuff, you know. But I hope this video was interesting for you guys, or at least it helped you change your perspective. Again, you could say it's common sense, but it's just, you know, kind of being aware of things going on around you, with you. Again, low learning curve. It's not gonna, you know, this isn't gonna take 10 years for you to learn. You can practice this right away. Um, Again, with the future videos, melee defensive, melee active, that will be a little bit more involved. Well, I hope you learned something from this video. Um, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.